Hi, and on today's video, I'm going to cover off when a product owner sends you a product you didn't know you need, but they're glad you did. So today I'm going to cover off the ANC sportswear. Now this is a, as you can tell, sports headband with wireless, well, it's all wireless, it's Bluetooth with speakers. So it's designed obviously for power athletes. So they sent it to me obviously because they clearly knew about my New Year's resolution about losing weight. And this couldn't have been timed better by them. So well done to ANC for recognising this opportunity. Now, I've always been a little bit sceptical about these overhead headbands, to be honest, because I have always been a kind of in-ear person. However, obviously, when you use an in-ear, what generally happens is they get sweaty or you're running so fast they fall out. And I certainly wouldn't want to do this. So before this actually arrived, I did check this out on Amazon. It is on the bestsellers list. It is retailing today at $59.99. However, there is a 50% code voucher when you're on there. So I'm going to refer to this as £30 throughout this. Yeah, neither way, let's crack on and get going. So ANC Wear were nice enough to send me these sports headphones with the tagline of "Hear the world, enjoy your life." And I don't mind if I do. So what's in the box? We're going to get some sports headphones, which is always an interesting concept because I usually use AirPods, but we'll give these a go. A magnetic cable and a user manual. Now, full disclosure, obviously these were sent to me. I've not been paid for this review or unboxing. Basically, all the views will be my own. And I will obviously go out and utilise these in the real world. Now, the good thing is this comes at a time that I've kind of gone on a bit of a fitness streak. So actually having these probably couldn't have been timed better. So these are available on Amazon, and I will stick the affiliate link in the description for you. But as you can see, these are very much in the kind of sports line of headphones. So instead of using them like iPods, etc., these do have a band that sits around the back, which you can see this clearly loops over the ear. There's a little bit of strapping here, which will just be around the on button by the looks of it, which is quite straightforward. Inside we get a charging cable, so it is a very particular charging cable, so it's not a standard one. So just from a feedback perspective, if you lose this, you'll obviously have to reach out to ANC to get another one. So it's a shame it probably isn't a it's more like a universal charge would have been potentially nicer just to have. So it was maybe like a USB-C into there would have probably worked a little bit better, but I can see, you know, by the design, you can see why they've kind of gone for that approach because it sits on there, and I suppose it's to keep this as minimal as possible so you don't have any overhanging elements. Now this is really light. I will actually weigh this in a minute to see how light this is, but I'll be honest, I'm holding that up with very little effort. So the charging side certainly sits on there. It looks like it's magnetized as well, so it does go one way round only, so it fits that way round with the cable at the rear. I'll have a look at the charging time, put them on charge. Let's just give it a quick weigh to see how much we're looking at. Exceeding that, move that back a little bit. 25 grams in total, so there we are. Very light indeed. So actually having those around your ears isn't going to cause much discomfort. So to connect this device to your Bluetooth, it's quite simple really. All we need to do is hold this button for 3 seconds to power on. Let's do that. You get the pairing notification, and hopefully, there we go. So it took a minute, but it's there. And that device is now connected, and you get the audio prompts that you would on a lot of Bluetooth devices. Quite straightforward really. It, like I said, did take a good minute just to do that, or a good few seconds just to do that. With the buttons, what we've got down here is the volume up and down, and then you've got on this side what they call a multi-key button. So this can answer calls, take calls, various double presses can skip and start, pause tracks, etc. You've got an LED, or sorry, the microphone that sits there, and the LED light for the status it's in currently sits just there. So Yeah, all in good places, really. These are them. So these are them installed. As you can see, they're kind of an over ear with a loop band that sits around the back. Works quite well. Now, I'm currently just putting a playlist on from Spotify at the moment, and it's playing in my ear. The noise is reasonable. I'd probably question if you were running and it's really windy conditions, you might have to put it up to max volume, because how these speakers work, as you can see, they kind of downfire into the ear. It's quite nice because obviously if you are moving about, you're going to find that these aren't going to fall out your ears, not necessarily something like an AirPods would. Obviously AirPods would probably still most likely be my what's it of choice, because to be honest, they just generally fit in an ear a little bit better. But nevertheless, you know, the sound quality's reasonable from them. There's not a lot of bass or reverb from them, but the trebles are pretty good, to be honest. So let's talk about these headphones. So what you have is a 8-hour battery on these devices, which to be honest is more than reasonable, because if you can run for 8 hours, you're a better man than me and should probably be doing marathons on a daily basis. That's roughly based on having the thing at about 70% volume, which I'll be honest, you probably will want to, because if you're out running fairly quickly, the wind noise will certainly require you to do so. Standby time is actually 20 days on these, so I've not had these 20 days to test that, but having owned other Bluetooth headsets in the past, if they aren't actually doing anything, that's usually a very viable claim, to be totally honest. Charging time is 2 hours. I have tested this, absolutely works fine in 2 hours. The one downside, like I said, with these is the fact that they have that very, bespoke connector for them. So it is a little bit of a bugbear of mine, that. Bluetooth version 5.3, so fairly new version of Bluetooth in there. I can't remember exactly what we're on now, maybe it's 5.4, 5.5. The speaker impedance at 16 ohms, and you can certainly tell that with a bit of a plus and minus tolerance of about 15% on that. The microphone sensitivity is 42 decibels. It does say the product weight is 27 grams, but it does say plus or 2, which we did weigh in at 25, so that kind of shows that they were bang on with that. Connection distance is obviously Bluetooth, so you can most likely expect it to be perfectly fine up to 5 meters. They are saying 15 meters here, however, Bluetooth generally does tend to drop off after about 5, so I'd stick to 5. Charging voltage is 5 volts and 0.5 of an amp. And as you can see, they're very slick, nice moulded plastic, kind of rubberized back here as well, so not too bad at all. And these downward firing speakers, as I mentioned. The one touch button does make stuff very simple, albeit you're going to need to read the instruction manual just to get your head around exactly what button presses do what. But yeah, a very good product from ANC, to be totally honest. Would I buy one of these? I suppose if I was an active runner all the time, then yes. I will be doing part runs later this year, so I will probably use these on there as well to see how they go, and maybe do a little bit of a follow-up later on in the comments. But thank you ANC for sending these sports headphones over, and as I said, this review is fully my own and no money has changed hands, just the product for my review. So my closing thoughts on this device. Let's just bring it in. Obviously, it is plasticky, so you're going to get what you expect, really. Like I said, it really probably is a £30 device. It kind of does retail that way with the discount, and that's probably why it sells so well on Amazon. But it is a very good product. The sounds is reasonable. It's it's not in the kind of class that you get from a Sony or an Apple, that kind of thing, from sound reproduction. But nevertheless, you wouldn't expect that from a device that sits around this price point. However, one of the big benefits of it is obviously if you are running, you're not going to see me run on the spot in here. Obviously the band is not going to move as much as an iPod or a Samsung Galaxy Bud or those kind of things would. The feel's quite comfortable because it doesn't use that kind of bone resonation that some of these type of devices use. It actually just has these two down-firing speakers that go into your ear. I've listened to things on it. I mean, one of the things I'd probably find difficult if I was going to do it with calls, I think it's fine on a a calm day, but we've been having a storm in the UK recently. Well, let's all blame global warming. But that would make it very hard to take this call. But then I have the same problems if I try to use other noise cancelling or wind cancelling devices. None of them ever really live up to the claim. So I think in most cases, these would actually do the job. Like I said, this review is totally my own. They may have sent me the product to review, which is free of charge. But if you have liked this review, please hit the like and subscribe. And yeah, as usual, I'll see you next time.